Yes.
All right. So you want us to start now?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I should start. Right. Okay.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah. Just bounces lots of the lights. Oh.
That's testing 1 2 3. 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 Okay. Can you hear me? Right. Just apologies for any delay here. We're just trying to get technical matters sorted out. I'm commentating from London. Just waiting, see if we can get this right. Okay, still no board. Ah, a board, splendid. Right, so after some technical problems, we are now live. Tim Cross playing black, Eric McAlpine playing blue. Tim has just rolled a life-saving 5-2 by the looks of it. So I think he'll take the anchor and make the 8-point. It seemed logical. He definitely needs the anchor in this position. Now he's only got one blot. So this is the first game of an 11-point match. That's going to be awkward because the 4-6, he hasn't got a 4-6 basically. So that's going to be the third 6. Now, do you come out or do you come down? Coming out leaves 1s, 3s, 6s, 4s, rather a lot of numbers, but equally well, if he doesn't come down, if he doesn't come out with the last 6, he's got the better board. But equally well, if he just comes down with the last 6 to his own bar point, he's at the moment got 3s, 5s, and 6s to get out. The trouble is, if one of those is closed off, he runs into trouble. If he comes out, he faces a potential blitz. So Eric has gone for the safe play here. That's an interesting play and one well worth looking at. As it happens, 5-4 would have been a pretty horrible roll for Tim in any event. Now he has got a 4 to play. He can play safe, but then Eric will run away. He can play 10-6 with the 4, or he can play 13-9. 13-9 leaves 7s and 8s, most of them, but not all of them. Or he can hit with 6-2. 6-2 leaves 13 shots. It's only 2 double 1 and double 5. If he comes down, it is 3-4, 3-5, 6-2, and 6-3. So that's 8 shots. So it's less shots, but less shots, less blots. But it doesn't take the tempo away. Here, that was a very difficult play. 4-1. Either play would have worked in this particular instance. 4-1. I think as he's got the better board, he's got to come up. Yeah. Okay. Yes, he might get pointed on. He might get picked and passed. But that's life. Double 2 makes the point. And I suspect he may switch points here because everything else gives Eric the tempo again. So, yeah, his opponent has no anchor. If your opponent has no anchor, it's a good idea to try and attack and blitz. And this seems the logical play. 2-1, fanning, so the switch has come off. Doesn't look like a double yet. He could hit with 3s and 5s, but 3s are duplicated. He wants 3 to come up on the other side of the board. It's now a very volatile position, so were he to make his own 5 point, then obviously that's a market loser. But if he hits loose and then he has one cover number, for example, he still has a lot of work to do to win the position. So he's rolling. Oh, double 3, an absolute joker. He's gone from not sure about the double to too good to double, so he's going to come up with the other 2. Yeah, so this guarantees him a point. It's just a question of whether he can win 2. So he's found 4 and 2, so down with the 4. He can make the 8 point. It is another checker, another builder for the 3 point. So the key question in this game has been, should Tim have double before he rolled a double 3? It didn't look like it. It looked like he had far too much work to do. Here he can hit, because if he gets hit back, he's got a cube, because he's got 2 points to enter, and his opponent has only got 1. Yep. Cock dice. Cock the 3, never a good sign. 6-2. So any 5 or 6 will, but not 4. So does he lift? He doesn't. He still has work to do to basically win the game. So I'm not sure about lifting here, because he always had the cube option. When you've got still a lot of distance to travel with your rear checkers, then quite often it's correct to leave the point slotted. Here that was borderline in my view, and I would have taken a little bit longer than Tim took to make that decision. You'll notice that he rolled a 4-2, which would have covered. Now he's always got the danger of Eric rolling a double 3 or anchoring or having trouble bearing off. So there is a 3. Now he's at the point where pick and pass would be okay, in my opinion. So he probably will pick and pass this one, yeah. So the pick and pass creates time for him to bring his checkers around the board. But Tim's very unlikely to get a closeout now. Double 5, nearly a closeout, but not quite. 1, 2. Looks a bit ugly in terms of structure, but you have to accept that. You'd now like to roll a 5-1 next time, but again, you only roll that one time in 17. Eric's rolled a 3. So if Eric gets off the gammon here, Tim will think about whether lifting that checker was correct. So here we go, we're going to pick and pass again. But now Tim has that 3 point weakness in his board, which will hinder his bear off and also give Eric the chance to save a gammon that perhaps he shouldn't have saved anyway. We'll see how it progresses. 6-3 is the bad number. 6-1 is fine. Six, and I can't see the other one. No, all right. Okay, so again, now only one bad number, which is 6-5. Double 2. Oh, that's an interesting roll. He can pretty much guarantee the win by playing 5-3, 3, and 4-2. He's going for the more. Eric has 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 crossovers to save the gammon. Tim has got, so he's taken the checker off. So this is the halfway house play for this, 3-2. So again, now combinations of 4, 5, and 6 leave a shot, but not that. particular double for. So Eric is now probably going to lose the gammon. 6, technically 1 in. Can't improve on that particular one. 2, 4, 6, 9 crossovers, playing 2, 4, 6, 10 crossovers. So Eric is going to, Tim was on rail, so Eric will need 2 doubles to save the gammon. 6, and I can't see the second number due to the light on the board. He needs to take a crossover, whatever he does, whatever the other number is. I think it's a 2. Yeah, okay. There'll be a minuscule difference in the equity between his play and 13 to 11. 6 and 1. He will definitely need 2 doubles. So I think you should just play 19 to 9 here. If you come down, yeah, that's the 4, and then the 6 comes out because any other 6 wastes pips. This has got to be right. And that's the end of that game. So 2 points to Tim. Question is, should it have been 4? So there was some decisions in the middle of that game that were really quite interesting. As usual, I find when players slow down towards the end of a match, but it's quite often worth taking the time in the early stages of the match because there's a huge difference between leading 2-0 and 4-0. So it's not to say it would have been correct to double, but I've just thought about it a little bit longer. 6-1 for Eric in his multicoloured shirt. Making the bar. 6-5, so not much choice, 2 down. Okay. Oops. That's cock dice yet again. Should use a baffle box. Double 2. So it looks pretty wasteful to hit here. I think making the 4 point and 2 down gives you wonderful structure. Having already made the bar, you're threatening to make your own 5 point. Your checkers aren't trapped at the back. And it also gives Tim room behind if you come up to dump bad rolls. 4-1 would have been all right, but not great. Eric will be quite close to a double in certain situations here, depending on what Tim rolls. He managed to roll double 5, for example. 4-1, so this is going to be, that's the 1, that's clear. So do you play to counter prime, or do you play to escape? And I think playing to escape is too big. Now I think Eric should double. There's a blitz opportunity here, but he's not doubling. Okay, now he'll hit 2. So Eric's structure is excellent. Tim's was all right. I think here you've got to hit 2 checkers. Your opponent has no anchor, so that looks to be correct. Oops. That's a 5 and a 2. He's grovelled his way in with 2 checkers. But Eric will continue the attack. 1-4. So you hit the check on the 5 point rather than the one on the 2 point. You don't want your opponent anchoring on your 5 point, so this is correct. 3 and something. 5 and 3. An absolutely tremendous roll. So Tim has rolled very well since all of this started. So he split the 3 here and safety the checker, 11-6. So Eric will be ahead in the race. 4-1 is a pretty dreadful roll. So, yeah, anything else is too big. 6 and 1. I think here you just run a checker away. Not much else you can do, really. There's no case really for coming up with the ace from the back. So 2's hit, so 2 and 3. So this roll sort of plays itself. No great problem. And Tim, from having a pretty awful position, has actually got quite a reasonable position. So 4-1, looks like it should come in on the 4 and then play 23-22. This duplicates a lot of Tim's even numbers. So that looks to be correct. Coming up, comes under the gun of 5 checkers, which surely can't be right, and he has no ace anywhere else. 5-4, that's an ugly roll. Yeah. Double tiger leaves, which is 8-4, 7-2, which at least I have the pleasure of being able to see that the play is legal. So this is very awkward. You don't come off the anchor, so the question is how you're going to play this on your own side of the board. Your opponent's got a 3-point board, which is better than yours, so that would indicate a safe-ish play. You could actually play both checkers to the 11 point, which looks more than weak. It's a horrible, horrible roll. And he has played them both to the thing. And sadly, it's probably the right play. So he now has 7 checkers on his 6 point. I'm hoping to improve. So that is that double 4. If it's double 4, then this is 2 of them. Is it too early to come out? He's made the point. Quite often wrong to come off the anchor and give up anchor at your peril. 3-6. I didn't actually have time to count the race, so I'm afraid which would have been an interesting factor in making that decision. Here, he's certainly not going to come out. He's going to slot 2 points. They need to build a strong board. Managed to very quickly put this into XG Mobile and the difference between coming out with the double 4 and making the 2 point. There is no difference in the equity. The 2 plays are identical. So now he's obviously, Eric's just rolled double 4, so he's taken the lead in the race. So he'll do 5 and he will play 6-4. Eric may well now do a quick count, but he doesn't know he's not doing a quick count. So that should be 2 off the back, which is reasonable. Eric's racing count is 90. So Tim will actually be 3 pips up after the roll, according to my calculation. So it's probably not the time to go, unfortunately, because there are 4 attackers on him. He'll hope for something a little bit better next time, and that maybe Eric has to clear one of his points, leaving only 3 attackers if he runs. And a lot of cocked dice, unfortunately. 5 and 3 is a great roll, because he keeps the block and makes a new inner board point. Now, with only 6, Tim's going to be forced to go. So this looks like he will play 5-3 and 6-2. You don't want to pile another checker on the 2 point. So I would imagine that 5-3 is the correct play. And you're not going to make the 5 point, whereas you might make the 3 point. So this seems highly logical. And again, there is a moment in these positions when your opponent's board has crashed and you're playing a position like Eric here that you can double when you are the race is level or even slightly behind, because some of Black's moves are forced. So that's 5-3. So if he's a long way ahead, he clears from the rear, and if he's not a long way ahead, then you don't clear from the rear. 5-1. So again, I would wait here. Doesn't look right to go, although obviously there is a blot on Eric's 2 point, which is an influence and factor in the decision-making process. And he is gone. Now, has Eric got a cue? So, coming out was a blunder. I managed to put that one into XG pretty quickly. So, the question now is, does Eric have a double? He can hit with any 1, 3, or 4. He's got lots of picks and passes or hit and cover. That's a lot of numbers. And again, don't think about losing, think about winning. So that's not there, that is there. And okay, 5-1 is one of his poorer numbers. And Eric missed a massive double there. So again, managed to put that into XG. It's actually a quadruple blunder not to double. So, because it's the volatility of the position creates the doubling opportunity. One. So Eric was 2 pips up before the roll. He's now 6 pips up. Slightly better structure because A, his crossovers to get checkers home are better. Secondly, he hasn't got a complete gap on his 5 point, and he's got a lot of checkers on his 4 point, which is always good. Here, this is going to be 2 checkers to the 2 point, and this is going to give him a sizable racing lead. So Tim needs a good number, 6-2. Is that good enough? So now you've got to pause and think. So so Eric's got a 4-pip lead plus a crossover. So if we do thoughts count for this, point of last take, subtract 5 from 52 gives 47, divided by 7 and round down is 6. Point of last take is 58. He was within the doubling window for that position. So therefore it was a double and a take. And now what have we got? Now it looks like he may have missed his market. 34, 40, 44, 46 plays 51, and Eric has 2 other checkers off, so this looks like double pass to me. So it's 46, 51, extra checker off. And this is a huge double, yeah, and it's actually a massive pass now. So Eric should have doubled last time, in which case he would, with the correct cube actions, he gave himself the opportunity for 2 points. So he's going to pass this one, yeah. So 2-1 after 2 games. Interesting decisions all the way through. And don't forget, the commentator has a far easier job than the players. I'm under no pressure. Secondly, I've got a technical aid next to me. I can occasionally look at what the computer thinks is the right decision, but don't forget that the computer decision and the decision in live play may be 2 different things, because you are playing a human being and human beings make mistakes. And if you know what type of mistakes your opponent makes, you can take advantage of that. Classic example yesterday when Lawrence Powell was playing Simon Barget. So double 6. This is going to be 4 checkers down. Plays much better after you run a checker away. So big racing lead. Splitting is probably going to be the wrong idea. Yeah, so this is going to be 2 down. He could point on the ace point, but it leaves a very messy position. He can play for the counter prime here. They've both got the same 3-point prime. 6 and 4, probably time to run away. Even if Eric hits, he's got to give up his midpoint to do that. 4-2, well, he's going to give up his midpoint and he's going to drop the... not sure about this. Okay, so when you think about that, are you playing offense? In other words, are you taking the time to play offense here, or should you actually be playing down? Okay, so sorry, I'm just trying to check one of the earlier plays. Wasn't much difference between Eric's split and coming down with 2. Coming down with 2 is marginally better. So Eric's now on roll. He's thinking about doubling. So he has an advanced anchor, which will keep him in the game forever. He has the threat of making his 5-point. He has good distribution. So double and take, very quick. And he's rolled 4-1, which doesn't do anything much. So I'm not quite sure whether he's played all of this, but this would seem to be, yeah. So the blot on black's 2-point gives him a little bit of license here. 6-5 for Tim. Not the role he was really looking for. So he can make the ace point, play A, or he can drop 2 checkers down, play B. So he's going to take, it looks like he's going to, or there's a third play, which is to make the 2-point, which I quite like. So it keeps a sentry in the outfield, it strengthens the inner board. Okay, so still thinking about this. Oh, he's made the ace point. So what have we got on the other side? We've got 6-3, which is a point-making roll. So double two, nice roll. I imagine he's got to come all the way. I can't imagine that. And he's got to give himself the option of escaping with large numbers here, and also freezes all those builders that Eric has on his 6 point. Three and two. It's not great. So now this is a pretty equal game. This is a mutual high anchor holding game. These games are normally won by someone who rolls a big double. Looks like he's going to do this. I'd slot the 4 point despite the... this provides a little more flexibility with the numbers next time. Double two. It's not ideal. So can't move the checkers off the bar point. He's going to be making the 2 point. Okay, so we're just waiting for someone's position to collapse or a big double to be rolled. This looks like this. Yeah. So it hasn't left Eric an 8 shot. 10 shot. So the only problem with the previous move, so he saved the 8s, but he gave his opponent the option of running with 2 big numbers, which is exactly what Eric's done. Obviously, with his 2 inner board blots, Black's not in any great position to hit here. So he will play 8 to 2 and 6 to 5. I imagine the race is still pretty close. What's something in a 2? Again, when the dice is right at the bottom of the board, it's difficult because the light is shining on it. So it must have been 6-2. So again, with Black's 2 inner board blinds, Eric can take a few liberties here. Eric's count is now 94. Oh, he could hit. There you go. There's a hit. Only exposes 4 blots. Might be right. Certainly a double match point, but I'm not sure about here. So 6-4. The one thing he doesn't really want is a 9. Obviously, there's a lot of trouble with cotton dice this evening. It's 4 in a row. 5 and 2. Yeah. So Tim would like the same 2 big numbers that Eric rolled to clear his point. Double 3 is not that number, so it makes the 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So again, he needs to keep as strong a board as he can, because when he does run, he needs to limit Eric's attacking potential. Eric would love to make the 3 point here, just getting ready. So that's perfect, 5 and 2. Yeah. Now, if he goes with 1, we got pretty much the same scenario as last time. Oh, he's going to go with 2. It's a slightly different story. So, Tim has 62 pips left. It looks like Eric has... Oh, that must be wrong. Hang on. 61, 30, 48, 53, 61, 67, 72 pips. Plays 60 pips, according to me. In that case, it's probably double and pass. Yeah, I think Eric will pass this. Tim basically rolled a joker with his double 5. and Eric has to be strong enough just to let this go. He's got 4 crossovers to Tim's 2. Everything is counting against him here. Yeah, it's a 10-pip race. So again, they're playing nice and slowly, which allows the commentator time just to quickly put this into extreme gammon. It would be a double blunder to pass this. In case you're not familiar with the terms, a blunder is a loss in equity of 0.0 equity points. So a double blunder is loss of equity of 0.16 equity points, which is very, very big. So correct cube action by both players. And I think that takes us to 4-1. Right. So Tim has a reasonable lead, not a huge lead, but any lead in a match, cube handling will change depending on how big that lead is and how far the players are away from the end of the match. So Eric started with Leather's leap and has leapt to the bar. 5 and 2. This should be 2 down, I believe. You don't give the opponent the opportunity to hit on his 3-point when he's got the better board, so you don't creep up 24 to 22 here. But of course, you might get hit with a 6-4. A roll that plays itself. Eric would like something with a 2, but double 4 is perfectly acceptable, so he'll make the 4-point. Yeah, he's going to make the 4-point. So nice defensive point to have. It will stop. Right, so 5-4. This looks very much as if he'll make the 9-point. Yeah. Okay, so Tim has got a nice block. He's escaped one rear checker. He'll now needs to concentrate on escaping the other one. Double 5. Eric is going to blitz him if he can. So he's going to make the 3-point with the other 2. Now the question will arise, if Tim fans, what's the correct cue decision? 5-4 is not a fan. It's an absolutely superb roll hitting. So we will not have time to discuss the potential cube situation. This is a bad roll, 1-5. Right. So he has the advantage. It's a very strong position. And he's doubling. So Eric now needs to take quite some time, I would suggest, think about this. I like the double. It's good. It's aggressive. Backgammon is won by people who play aggressively. That's always been my belief. So the question is, Eric has taken. I think this is a perfectly well-timed double and a perfectly correct take as well. Eric, the rule of thumb is if your opponent's only got a 2-point home board, you have a lot of what I call wiggle room, ways of escaping. That double 5 is a pretty terrible roll, because now he's doing what happened in the, ooh, wow, what a roll. And now he can make the bar as well. So, yeah, that's a fantastic roll, double 2. Eric is now in severe gammon danger. Yeah, 2 and 6. The problem with Eric's rolls is now they're all forced, and he's going to have to crunch his board. So 5. So, do you fear the 4-point board, and do you play 9 to 6, leaving nothing, or do you play 10 to 8? Giving an extra thing? I think his position is so strong he can afford to do this. So he's left Eric no jokers, which now he's going to do this and start the make the 2 point. So now we get the sort of freakish numbers, a double 5 here. 6-5 is going to bring 2 down. Yeah. Now the freak hit with 6-4 makes the game interesting. He really doesn't want to roll any other 6 because then he has to give up his anchor. He desperately needs a 2 to get the checker on the 24 point up to the 22 point, at which point he has some racing potential. But if he has to leave the anchor first, that will be a mess. So Tim correctly leaves Eric free to play. So hitting on the ace point here is not the right idea. That then only leaves 2-6 and 3-6 as bad rolls. Here, pretty much any 6 other than 2-6 and double 6. 5-3. So the board has gone south for the winter and will never return. So now how do you play this? Well, you'd like to make the 2 point. Double 1, so that's going to give some flexibility. 3 and yeah, or 5-4 was the last one. Right. So Eric's praying for a 2 here, which he has not got. 3 and 1. So yeah. Yeah. Things went extremely well for Tim after his excellent double. So this leaves a shot. It's not something that bad 6s. So I think that's the wrong play. And also would have sent a checker back to capture anything else that was looping around the board. Here I've made a 2 point. Okay, the worst roll is probably 1-6. Double 2 is all right. 6 and something, 2, I think. No need to leave anything, realistically. Double 5, that's a waste. 2 and 6, so now Tim will be bearing off next time. So Eric basically needs to roll a 3. If he stays on the bar for another 3 or 4 rolls, so ignore that. Every time I say something, the problem is solved immediately. So Eric should not lose a gammon from here. I'll rip 2 off here. He can play 6-4 with the 2, but I mean, basically, he's not going to lose this game because Eric has 6 dead checkers. So you can be ultra aggressive. 2-1, terrible roll. 1 large double by Tim and yeah, another 2 off. Just worth checking. You can play most of the other numbers, but double 3 plays all right, double 4 plays all right, 6-2 plays all right. Eric's rolling very slowly. 6, 12, 16, 32, 34. It's got 35 pips to roll to take a checker off. This looks like 2 to the, yeah, 2 points. So basically, Eric's going to take 5 rolls to get his checkers off. Tim's currently got 11 checkers, but they won't all bear off purely. So at the moment, I would take 2 off. Well, I'll certainly take the 5 off here. Think about the 2. A lot of people would automatically play 6-4 with the 2, but this is probably right, even so, because now his only bad number is 6-3. And that's the end of the gammon threat, barring a miracle. It just crosses the other one. Yeah. So barring 2 doubles or 3 doubles from Tim and 2 2-1s from Eric, we can safely say that this game is going to reach a conclusion in a moment or 2. 5, 1, No point wasting checker. Up pip, so just play, yeah. Five and three. Eric can resign. He can't win. Tim can't lose. 2 and 1, trying desperately to lose. But, sorry, lose again, but he can't do that. Every roll takes checker off next time. And I think he's going to concede with a bit of luck, and we can move on. Oh, he's going to roll. He's going to give it one roll. Most, all right, 12. Now it's dead. Yeah. And Eric stops the clock, and we're at 6-1. 6 times. And they are taking a break, so the commentator will also take a natural break.
can you hear us?
Hi.
Okay.
I can only just hear you.
Okay. Great. Probably also.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Probably also viewers can hear us. Yeah. Okay. So can you guys just talk a little bit, and
Yeah.
then I can hear if I can hear.
Yep.
How does it sound?
You sound quite quiet to me. I don't know what I sound like to you.
I can hear you quite well.
Now that's better.
Oh, it's just I wasn't speaking.
No nonsense. You just talk to each other like. How are you?
Apparently, we're just having a. Mate just wants us to talk. Just as if we're having a chat.
Fine.
Yeah,
Enjoyed
I think
your
I
match
got
yesterday?
my match. I played against Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yep, and yeah, I didn't. I think
There's some quite interesting positions in there.
in the first game when I was. I wasn't sure whether I was too good or not, and I was getting myself into kind of all sorts of. It was taking too much time, and when I look back on it, it didn't seem like it was too good at all. I had a couple of positions that.
It's absolutely perfect, guys.
Well, there was one position at something like either 7-2 or 8-2 where you doubled,
Oh yeah.
and Lawrence dropped.
Lawrence
and technically, it's not a double because of the differential in the match score, but it's a
Did you put it
fantastic
through?
practical double.
Yeah, I thought it might be anywhere from a no redouble take to a double pass. Much more
Yeah.
likely to be a no redouble take, of course.
Which it was, but Lawrence passed. So
Big blunder.
yeah, well, yeah, it was quite a big blunder. It was like 0.12, I think, to
Oh, right,
drop.
okay. This is the team.
What's he saying? Is he giving me grief?
Now it's just now we're testing because now we'll include Simon also.
Be kind,
So
Simon.
Simon here,
Be kind.
Chris in London, and you're next door.
Yeah, be
It's
kind.
amazing, yeah.
So you don't know what Chris has been saying, but it's been.
What's the score? Is the score 6-1?
6-1 at the moment. Yeah.
The score is 6-1. There was a very interesting position in the first game where Tim didn't double and then rolled the absolute nuts double 3 and won an undouble gammon. And I've just recreated it and put it into XG.
Sorry, when was this? Just in this last game?
The first game.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched. I was just playing the doubles. Okay.
But it's one of those positions where it looks like it's a bit tenuous to double,
Yeah.
but actually it's very powerful. So he should have doubled and he'd have won a double gammon, and he'd be 8-1 ahead. But there you go, that's life, isn't it?
How bad was the missed double, Chris?
The missed double, hang on, I've got it in front of me. So the missed double is not quite a blunder, but very, very close.
Yeah. You saw me you saw me almost double, didn't you? I thought about it, but like, I presume it was immediately too good.
Which one?
The first game.
The first game would be too good after the double, yeah, you just play on.
Cheers, thanks, Chris. Be
The
kind.
other interesting thing about that one is you lifted up with a 4, you
Oh,
picked
yeah.
pass. And I have sort of rules of thumb for how many checkers you've got, how many pips you've got to roll home, whether you can afford the pick and pass.
Yeah.
It didn't make any difference in that particular game because you kept hitting anyway. But it's worth looking at. It's a technical thing, yeah.
Try and make it last about an hour and a half is perfect for me because then I'll be ready for my match.
Yeah.
Because he's playing now, so about an hour and a half. About an hour and a half.
Take you fill your time in.
Just do whatever. Have that in mind.
I'll get to 10-1 and then I'll get
Yeah,
up
like
to
I did
that.
against Steve Bibby.
Yeah.
So how are things going there? Who's
It's a really nice tournament. The venue is nice. The food is buffet and it's fresh and good quality.
Yeah.
And what else is there to say? The rooms are nothing special. It's like a conference centre more than a hotel.
Okay. Right.
Only thing we're missing here is you, Chris.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I had to play golf, but there you go. And I played golf incredibly badly today, but that's life, isn't it? You know.
What's your golf PR?
A lot worse than my bloody backgammon PR, I can tell you. So I play off about 20 golf. So
I was even worse.
I've been 20 for years.
I
Yeah.
used to play with my dad, and I could never. I loved golf, but I could never get good.
Yeah, well, I think I have a game that hopefully I'm reasonably good at, and I have a game that I'm not very good at, and so that's a nice balance in my life. So
Golf is so frustrating when you miss. Like I was at a sort of level where I would make the odd air shot, and that's just that hurts. It's painful when you do that.
Yeah,
shank it into the woods on the left or whatever. Yeah.
Golf is mainly played in the 5.5-inch space between the two ears, unfortunately.
That's why I was never good at it.
So I'm quite good on the range and the practice green, but when it comes to
where do you play at Roe? Is it Roe?
Hampton, yeah.
My dad used to play at Coombe Hill.
Oh right, yeah, I know, yeah. So I'll keep playing until my bits fall off, really.
What's that?
I'll keep playing until I can't play, basically.
Were we live? Was our whole golf? Everyone knows your golf handicap now. So for better or for worse.
The whole world, yeah.
Yeah, all 25 people in the wide.
Yes. I don't mind admitting it. There's one of the girls at our club. She's 20. She's the best amateur in England now. She plays off +5. There you go. Try that one.
How old is she?
20.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You know you can you're watching the match, aren't you? Just to make you aware in case that they have started.
Oh, have they? Oh,
yeah.
I haven't
Nothing major, just a normal kind of 5-3, 6-3.
Can I have a board, please, Mate?
Mate?
I don't have a board.
Oh, you haven't got the board. Oh no, you're not allowed to see the board anymore.
Okay, I have to guess.
What? I'm sharing the screen. What's up?
Okay, we need to get back to real backgammon.
Can you see the board now?
I can't see anything at the moment. I'm not. Hang on, let me. There we go. We're in. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Right, we're live. I guess we are.
Okay, off you go. Come on, Chris.
Okay, right. So what's happened so fast? Not a lot. Ooh.
I was briefly watching. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So 6-1 lead gives you about 82% chance of winning the match. Obviously Eric would love to double earlier if he could. That's 3 and 4, so I think he'll just hit. And so Eric needs an anchor at this point. Tim with a slight advantage in structure. He's got one less checker back. Eric keeps cocking his dice as well. He's very bad at rolling the dice.
Yeah, I was just about to say, what happens if Eric fans?
Now, double 3. Okay, so you've got 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 6s to hit. You've got a better board. You're ahead in the race. So even at 6-1, you're going to double this.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Okay. Well, it's got to be an easy take.
Yeah, I've played with him long enough to know he's a little double.
I mean, Eric might pass, but I can't see this being a take because of the structure. He's only got a 2-point board. Oh, yeah. Man.
And
they can hear us.
Oh. Can they? Oh. Are they gone? Oh, no.
All right, Chris, I'm going to leave you to it.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. Obviously, technical problems. Okay, so we'll just wait for the players to come back. Tim has doubled this position. For money, this would be a gargantuan pass. Even at this score, it's a pass. So I've just put this into XG, and it's a blunder to take this. So obviously I haven't done a rollout on this, but Eric has no structure, and every number will hit at least one blot. Even double 5 hits either one or, yeah. So every number hits. So that's not a good place to be. So despite the fact he's going to go 7-1 down, I believe he should just pass this. So we're back on. And I think, let's see, he needs to just familiarise himself with the position again. If you lose a gammon here, you go 10-1 behind. Well, obviously 10-1 behind, you've got about 2 or 3% winning chances. Yes, you'll win the odd game from here when you roll an anchoring double and things go well, but you do have to learn to give up positions sometime. Playing from 1-7 down is a lot better than playing from 1-10 down. But he's taken, so let's see. I think that's a bold play. Now, if he can get an anchor, at least he gets into the game. But if he doesn't anchor this roll, the blitz is going to roll over him. 6-5 is horrendous. Now, needs ideally to attack the blot on the ace point. The last thing he wants Eric to do is anchor. So I'm going to hit on the ace point, and I'm going to hit on the. Am I going to hit on the ace point then? Oops. Sorry. Okay, so this is a key 6-4 that he has to play. And I think you've got it. The last thing you want is your opponent to anchor. So don't give him, despite the fact he would have been hit back, I think that you should have hit on the ace point there. But you can see what's going to happen here. Eric is going to end up with a pretty well-timed ace point game. I doubt whether he'll get the 1-2 game. He should hit here, yeah. The last thing he wants is to give him a 1-2 back game. 1-2 back game is very difficult to time. So only 5 or 6 makes the point here. So 6, so he has a full prime if he wants it. So I'd run away off the 5 point all the way around. It's not clear you want the bar. Yeah, so it's beginning to clear. So there comes a point where you don't want blocking points. You just basically want to bring the checkers home. Now, with Eric with only 1 on the bar, I would take the precaution of making the bar. Or you come down with 2 and clear that point. So these are technical plays. There's often not a huge equity difference between them. So if you make the bar, you're going to bring the other one down. Double 1 is then Eric's only good roll. You want to avoid jokers, so I'm not sure about this. I think I'd have just brought 2 down, paid off to 1-6, but other than that, you're clearing all the points. Very easy. Now, he's got to bear in his other checkers now, so where's he going to put them? So that should be the 4, and the 3 goes to the 5 point. So you don't want to pile checkers on the 6 point in this position, because you want to clear the 6 point as soon as possible. In positions like this, once you clear the 6 point, you reduce your chance of being hit by 30%. So, let's say I would not pile checkers on. I'd probably play 9-3 here. And this is all right. But I would have gone for the purer distribution. Played 9-3. Yeah. Double 5 leaves a shot. And now you can have a relatively smooth distribution by playing 9-6, 4-3. Or you play 9-5, but then double 5 leaves a shot for no reason. So I think you just do this. Gives you a beautiful structure. 1 and 4. So Eric is not going to save the gammon unless he hits a shot. So he should concentrate on building a strong home board, so that if he does hit a shot, he can actually win the game. So 5, you clear the point? Yeah, probably. He could have played 8-2, but as I said before, his first thought here is to clear the 6 point. Ooh, double 6. 1-2. 3. And I take a long crossover here. So he's got a balance trying to get off the gammon, but he's still a long, long way favourite from being off the gammon. So I think this is right. He wants to build a prime. Build a prime probably from the 4 point to the 9 point. So now you come off the 6 point here. Right. So this chance of being hit dramatically reduced. So 13 to 7, making the bar. I think Eric's going to play this all the way around. 6. I wouldn't play 8 to 3 here. I want to try and make my prime from the 9 to the 4 or the 10 to the 4. Double 1. Yeah. Probably just do this. 1, 2. Yeah. Okay. He's got a lot of spare 2s. He's got 3 spare 3s. All right. So now you're going to make the 5 point. Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's double 3. Beg your pardon. Yeah. So Eric will be pretty much ready by the time he gets a shot. You get a shot 90%. I think someone's said calculated 90% of the time. 1, 2, 3. But of course, you only hit that 30% of the time, and that's when you still have a full board. From here, you're not going to get a shot very often. Wow, this could be a brute force gammon save. So he can bring a checker all the way home. So now he's going to have 6 plus 14, 20, 24. No, wait a minute, sorry. Excuse me, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 12, 18, and 14 is 32 checkers, 32 pips to save the gammon. So he should get off. He's now favourite to save the gammon. So Tim needs. So Eric has rolled basically 2 double 6s and a double 3 from where he was initially. 3 and 2, yeah. So obviously you bring the checkers to the 6 point. 5, 4, 5, 8, 10, 11. I think Tim's got 1 checker too many to make this truly exciting. So for the crowds, we need a double 6 or a double something, not 5, 1. But he can afford, he's got an odd number of checkers, he can afford another 1 without penalising himself. Do you take 2 crossovers? You can waste a pip here by taking a crossover, or you can just do this. So he's now got 4, 5 crossovers. His favourite to save it. 6, 4. Now you don't really want something in a 1 here. 5 and 4. So again, now you don't bring 2 checkers in. The correct play here is in with a 4 and play 12 to 7. Yeah. Okay, now you've got an odd number of crossovers to get in, and then the 4th crossover in your second roll takes checker off, hopefully anyway. 6 and 4. Okay. Eric's been, to get off the gammon by racing is phenomenal. But don't forget, he should have passed the double initially. 5, 6, now everything gets him off next roll. So that's now 8-1. Tim's rolling on for some reason. There is no roll that doesn't take a check off. So 8-1. Match winning percentage chance has gone up. Five divided by 16. Right, here we go again. 3 and 6. So Eric's still alive. He's up to about 87% winning chances, Tim, and obviously he's rolling extremely well. Eric's really not had a great deal of play in this match. So he's going to make the point. Now, do you safety the final two, or do you come up with the two? So Eric's playing this boldly, duplicating threes. It's not unreasonable. Certainly not unreasonable given the score in the match. So I think Tim will probably clear the midpoint here. So having a third checker back may well help Eric. He can have an advanced anchor if he's lucky. Well, it's not an advanced anchor. All right, so Tim won't be doubling here for ages. So obviously if he doubles here, the cube will virtually certainly come back on the next roll. So, and he's still rolling so well. It's very hard to play backgammon against someone who rolls incredibly well. If the luck factor is too high, a novice can beat the world champion, basically. And I would estimate that Tim's luck factor in this game is pretty good. I mean, he's played very well, but equally well, if the dice help you, that is really useful. So this is going to be this, yeah. Pretty much no other play unless you want to leave a direct shot. 3-5, 4-5, but not 4-2. So it doesn't look as if Eric should challenge because his only asset is his anchor. This is a bold play. I'm not sure that gains that much. You're well behind, and now you're inviting a blitz. So I find that move surprising. May work, of course. This is an awkward roll. So you can play 2 down, leaving a 6 shot, or you can make the 3 point, leaving 5s and 6s in return. So is he going to punish Eric for his split? Where did that come from? 4-3. To my mind, this is the logical play. Yes, he might get hit with a 5 and a 6. But Eric has managed yet again to fan. Now, Tim will play at least one roll for the gammon. 6-4. So Eric's split, I think, was ill-advised there. He's got an anchor. One, right. So again, double pass for money. No double take for at this match score, because Eric would take and play from the ace point game because his timing is good. Six and 1, just another builder for the 5 point. 5 point is key for Tim here. So there's the 5. I think he's got to start his own 5 point. Yeah. Combinations of 1s, 2s, and 5s, or double 4. 4-1. That's more interesting. I think this is the right idea. Eric's only got a 2 point board, and he's rolling like he's a losing player at the moment, sadly for him. Is that a 3-1? Yeah. Okay. So now we're back to the same scenario as the last game. Eric would quite like to come in very quickly, so he has the chances to run off the gammon. Meanwhile, he wants to maintain building his own board. What's that, 3-1? Yeah, so this is correct. You want to play so that you can clear the bar next time if Eric continues to fan. Okay, so 1-4, going to come down, yeah. So 6-5 is bad. Oh, look, there it is, 6-5. I can predict the future. Right, so 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4 gives us a fascinating game. Is that cocked? That's cocked. Okay. 4-1, not quite the right idea. So make the 5 point by playing 6-5, come down with a 4, not wasting any pips and building a strong structure. 6-5 again leaves a shot. 6-4 also leaves a shot. Okay, so now 5 is a serious game-winning opportunity for Eric. And again, he's having trouble rolling the dice. 4 and 2, it really is not his day. So again, you want to play purely. I just start with 3 point here because you're probably not going to get a shot next time. He's playing also save the gammon. We'll have a look at the pip count in a minute. So 1, 3 off. Okay, so 6, 12, 18, 54, 60. He needs to roll 64 pips. That's 8 rolls. And here he goes again. The man's a genius. 1, 2. And actually, you should come off. I would look at this a bit longer because there are some funny 4s if you come off the ace point there. That would not have done him any good. So Eric's play is probably right, but I'd have looked at it a bit longer. I think you just play 5-2 here. In fact, yeah, you must play 5. Hello, 1. Yeah, and then 5-3. Yeah. His ambition, obviously, is to clear that 5 points as quickly as possible. Now then, can you get off the gammon? Is it worth trying to get off the gammon? So, yeah, 6, 3. Black has a lot of funny numbers here, so that is an absolute top number. So now Eric will run with 1. Oh, double 4. He's very good at rolling doubles to save gammons anyway. 1, 2. The question is, do you run with the other one? For the moment, you don't waste any pips. He's really quite unlikely to stay more than the next roll, and there are no shot leaving numbers for the next roll. If he runs, he's got 23 pips to save the gammon, and that would be on average 3 rolls. His opponent, 1, 2, 3, needs 5 rolls to take a checker off. The only danger here, obviously, is if Tim were to roll double 1 or double 2, any of the other doubles are pretty irrelevant, actually. So are you going to get a shot often enough to justify staying? Eric thinks not. XG likes staying for a long time, but oh, double 5, wow. Now he'll be glad he's gone because he would have gone anyway, actually. So 5-3 all the way. I think, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, now he's got 2 6s for crossovers. That might be one of those situations where you wanted to... Now, Eric needs a 6 and something. 6 and 5. Well, he's got to play this. 5 and 3. So Eric needs a double or 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4. Double 3. The man is a great roller for saving gammons. He's been very poor at rolling anything else this evening, but at least he's now saved 3 gammons, which were very, very unlikely to be saved. So 9-1, now the score. Tim will virtually never double at this score because obviously the cube comes straight back. He'll double when he's a complete lock. Eric will be doubling. Now, there's an interesting question here. So normally you play 6-2, 24 to 18 and 13 to 11. Given the score disparity, I think what he's just done is the right play, 13 to 5. So when I first started playing backgammon, I played this for the first 15 years of my backgammon life, because everybody did. The only person who played it against me in the last few years is a guy called Richard Olson from the MCC, who's been around the backgammon scene even longer than I have. But at Gammon Go Scores, it is correct. Now, this is a 2 and a very awkward 6, and I think you'll see the cube coming. So, think, is he going to double? So 3s and 4s and 1s and 3s. There's some gammon potential because his opponent has not got it. There it comes. This is not surprising. It's a pretty clear take. 6 and 4. That's also not ideal. So you can run to the 24 point. Is that right? The other play is the double tiger play. So you play 14 to 10 and 8 to 2 because you don't care about losing a gammon, but you care very much about winning one. So I'm not wholly convinced by that play. I would have hit twice. And now Tim is basically going to make the anchor. Notice that if he'd made the other play, he would have got 2 in but still had no anchor. So 6-4 for Eric, 4 and 6, or 4 and 6 down, duplicating 2s, getting some structure. Certainly, I don't think I want to play 8 to 2 here. Yes, you're ahead in the race, marginally. I might have looked, a slight preference for 13 to 7 there to give some structure, but okay, now Tim's yet again rolling absolutely brilliantly. The question is, after double 6, is he ahead? In which case he's coming out with those 2. I suspect what it'll do is this, bring 1 down and then count it. It's got 1 to play. 52 and 28 is 80, 89, 113, 140. So it'll be 137 after the roll. 80, 95, 25. So I think he's about 12 pips up after roll, which implies that this is the right play. Yeah. Visually, you can inspect this and see that Tim is well ahead. There's going to be very little contact now. So it's going to cross and slot. Okay. So any reasonable rolling sequence or average rolling sequence by both players will see the end of the match. 6 and 4, it clears the 14 point. So now there's virtually no contact. Eric is just not rolled well enough. There are days when nothing goes right, and for Eric, this has been one of them. Tim has played well. He's doubled well. He's doubled aggressively. Eric, like many people, ended up taking a cube that was a drop because you're so far behind. You think you have to take it. But don't give your opponent 3 points. It's not good, obviously. 3, start the next point. Yeah. There's a small amount of technique in these positions, but and that is the end of contact. So I'm guessing Eric's at least 2 doubles behind here. And 9 crossovers plays 10, but the crossovers are shorter. 5, 8 to 5, yeah. Five and 2. So Tim is currently 103 pips. I'll do the other one in a minute. So 5 and 2, so that will make him 96. So Eric was 18 pips ahead. Sorry, Tim was 18 pips ahead. He's now 13 pips ahead, which is very healthy. So it's probably about 85% to win from here. So 6, I think. Yeah, we like this. Yeah. 13 plus 7, I think he's 20. I'll try and keep a running count. I think he's 20 ahead now. Minus 12, so that's a bit more interesting. 8 pips now. Yeah. 6, 8, 9 is 8, 7, 15 pips. So obviously there's very little skill in these positions, but you can see both players are playing correctly by putting the checkers on the higher points. I think we're down to about 5 pips though, so it's actually the race has become interesting. Okay. 13. Oops. Now, the double 5, which Eric has just copped, would make it. So now I think we're in the 4 pip region. I'll redo the count at some point. 5 and 1 comes off the 6 point. First off wins, as we say, but not necessarily. Ooh, don't cock 6s. 4 and 1, poor roll, 1 off the 5 point. I think Eric has some checkers stacked on top of other checkers there. 3, 5, 8. Yeah, there must be more checkers than I can see on the 6 point. It's very hard from here. Yeah, there you go. Ooh, 1 off. Yeah. 4 and 3. No, 4 and 2. Sorry. Oh, now we can see. So 36, 46, 58. So he's only 3 pips up before the roll, so he's now 11 pips up. 11 minus 5 is 6. So considering he had a 20 pip lead at the start of this race, Eric's done well to claw this back, and that's probably the end of the match with double 4. So 6 to 2, probably 5 to 1. If you roll a 1, it's a bad number, and you want to take a checker off with it. Yeah, so that looks right. Okay, 5 and 3. It's getting very skinny now for Eric. One good roll for Tim, and it really is all over. But Eric did well to catch up in the race. Double 6. I mean, this is a slaughter. Eric needs 2 doubles, and it has to start with double 6 now. Oh, double 6. Keep the 6 and roll the other dice again. Make it more interesting. Oh, and he's cocked double 6. Would you believe it? 5 and 3. 3, 5. Still technically possible if Tim were to roll 2-1. 3, 2. Well, end of match. So, well played by Tim. Bad luck to Eric, who really had no dice at all. There were some interesting doubling positions in any game of backgammon. There are always interesting doubling positions, which is why I've been able to write about the game throughout the last 30 years without ever having to worry about a lack of material. So thank you for listening. Not sure if there's another match going to be scheduled, but I will now take a break and we'll see what happens. Thank you very much.